Once upon a time in a big city, there was a stray dog who made his home by sleeping in the boxes of an outdoor market. He was a handsome dog with soft brown fur and floppy ears. People passing by would often throw scraps of food into the boxes, and the dog would gobble them up happily. But he always dreamed of having a real home with a family to love him. One day, something new appeared in the market. It was a beautiful gray cat with emerald green eyes. Her name was Luna, and she had just arrived at the market in search of food. She was very elegant and graceful, and the dog couldn't help but stare at her as she walked by. At first, the dog and the cat didn't get along. They would argue over the scraps of food and hiss and growl at each other. But as the days went by, they began to realize that they needed each other. The cat was good at catching mice and birds, which meant that the dog didn't have to work so hard to find food. And the dog was bigger and stronger than the cat, so he could protect her from harm. One day, a mean man came to the market and started throwing stones at the cat. The dog, who was nearby, saw this and immediately ran to the cat's defense. He barked furiously at the man, and the man, surprised by the dog's bravery, stopped throwing stones and walked away. From that day on, the cat and the cat became best friends, and they lived together in the market, happy in their newfound companionship. Hey, kids, do you have a furry friend at home? If so, we'd love to hear about them. Share a photo of your pet in the comments below. We might even feature some of our favorites in a future video. And don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Your feedback helps us make more videos like this for you. Now let's get back to the story. As the seasons changed and the years passed, the once young and playful dog and cat grew old together. Their fur turned gray and their movements became slower. But despite their age, they were still the best of friends, and they continued to live in the market, finding comfort in each other's company. However, as time went on, it became harder and harder for the old dog and cat to find food. The people visiting the market weren't as generous as before, and the once plentiful scraps of food became scarce. The old dog and cat started to feel the effects of hunger, and their days became filled with sadness and despair. One day, the dog and the cat were so hungry that they decided to visit the houses near the market in search of food. They had never done this before, as they had always found enough to eat in the market, but desperation had driven them to try something new. As they approached the houses, they noticed a sign on one of them that read, "Beware of dog." The dog and cat hesitated, unsure of what to do next. The cat, who was smaller and more agile, decided to climb over the wall and see what was on the other side. Meanwhile, the dog stayed behind, whimpering softly. After some time, the cat returned, looking excited. She meowed loudly to get the dog's attention, and then led him toward the house. The dog, confused but hopeful, followed the cat and jumped over the wall. To their surprise, they found a cozy yard with a small house. In front of the house was a bowl filled with food and water. The dog and the cat looked at each other, unsure of what to do next. Should they take the food without being invited? It didn't seem right, but they were so hungry and had nothing to lose. The cat, always the bolder of the two, decided to take a chance. She walked up to the bowl, dipped her head in the water, and started drinking. The dog watched her, hoping she wouldn't get into trouble. But instead of being scolded, the cat was praised by a kind woman who opened the door to the house. The woman was so touched by the sight of the old dog and cat that she invited them in and gave them food and water. As they ate, the woman noticed their old and worn-out collars and asked if they had a home to go back to. When the dog and cat shook their heads, the woman knew she had to help them. She took them to a local animal shelter where they could get the care and attention they needed. The staff at the shelter were just as kind as the woman and gave the dog and cat a warm welcome. They checked them for microchips, hoping to find their owners, but it seemed they had been lost for so long that no one was looking for them. Days turned into weeks, and the dog and cat received all the love, care, and food they could ask for at the shelter. However, they couldn't help but miss each other's company. They had been through so much together and had grown accustomed to having each other by their side. One day, the shelter staff noticed how attached the dog and cat were to each other and decided to keep them in the same room. They also started looking for a special family who would adopt them both. And then one day, a miracle happened. A young girl and her parents visited the shelter looking for a pet. When they met the old dog and cat, they instantly fell in love. They took them home, gave them a tour, and promised to take care of them for the rest of their lives. The dog and cat were so grateful for their new family. They felt loved and appreciated and were finally able to live out their golden years in comfort. From that day on, the old dog and cat lived happily ever after with their new family. They played, cuddled, and enjoyed every moment they had together. The girl they had saved from the fire became their best friend, and they loved spending time with her. As the years passed, the dog and cat grew even older, but they never lost their love for each other or their gratitude for the second chance at happiness they had been given. Now, whenever the girl sees an animal in need, she remembers the bravery of the old dog and the kindness of the old cat. And she knows that no matter how tough things may seem, with a little bit of love and compassion, anything is possible. The end. Like, share, follow. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on. Also, be sure to check out our other videos. We think you might like this one too.